I don't think I could leave this podcast without asking you this one question.
Murad, the Memecoin supercycler. Murad Mahmudov, the author behind one of the most preeminent theses of this market cycle.
He's the first person who ever told me about Bitcoin. And I remember when he first told me about it, I thought he was absolutely crazy.
The SEC said it is monitoring the situation.
Again, the Memecoin cycle is not a prediction, it's already happening. Memes are dominating every metric.
But I wouldn't be surprised if these coins do another 50 to 100x next year.
You want to be focused on things that are going to become cults, brands, or movements.
As the stock soared, the financial world was left stunned.
You can cheat volume, you can cheat liquidity, you can cheat listings, but you can't cheat time.
And remember, stop trading and believe in something.
Guys, I'm sitting here with the meme coin messiah, Murad. Murad, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me, and pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you. I've been waiting to talk to you. I don't think I could leave this podcast without asking you this one question. It's a really important question. Like, the people want to know this question. What do you use for your hair? It is so shiny. Is it like a Korean hair mask? Like, what are the vibes? The people want to know.
I actually don't use anything at all.
Oh.
Just a regular shampoo. That's it.
Just like, I thought you were going to say like a no poo movement, you know, just so shiny. Wow. Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, we can really get into the meat of things. So let's say this podcast is playing. We're talking directly to the person listening, and they want to explain meme coins to their father or their uncle or somebody at the family dinner table. How would they do it?
Yeah. You know, there are many theories to explain what meme coins are, but at their core, I believe what they are tokenized communities. Essentially, crypto first started in 2009, and the first meme coin started in 2013, became more globally popular in 2017. That was Doge, right? Since then, with every cycle, we are having more and more meme coins. What do meme coins represent? The way I see it is they represent the tokenization of the intangible, right? Community, art, movements, missions, ideology, value systems, belief systems, and everything in between. And essentially, that is what they represent. If you want to go a little bit deeper, I think they represent a counter reaction to the tech side of crypto, to the VC side of crypto, and all of the things that have gone kind of wrong there in the past 5 or 6 years. But more globally, stepping outside of the crypto industry, I think they represent a counter reaction and almost like a mini financial protest, an investment protest against almost like the world at large. The stocks, the bonds, the real estate, fundamentally, young people intuitively understand that the kinds of returns that their father or their grandfather has enjoyed on real estate and stocks over the past 50 years is probably not going to be the case over the next 50 years, right? And right now, if you look at the world, most of the wealth is in the hands of boomers and silent generation above them and the Gen X below them. They control almost everything, from money, status, political power, and everything else. And, meme coins are an asset class that thrive in the attention economy. If you look at Zoomers, younger millennials, even Generation Alpha right now, and you ask yourself, what can they do to survive? And I think this is happening not even consciously, but unconsciously. The one thing that they're good at is social media. And I believe that this is one of the 15 to 20 reasons why meme coins are emerging right now and will continue to dominate for the next several years, is because meme coins thrive on social media rails, and meme coins produce better memes than other crypto assets, than other traditional assets. And I think in a world that is increasingly attention-based and inflationary, memes are going to be a bigger part of the formula. Social media is going to be a bigger part of the formula. And I think meme coin dominance, quote unquote, so to speak, is going to continue rising slowly through the next several years.
Beautifully explained. I think the people at the dinner table, explaining this to their uncle is going to be very grateful for you and that explanation. So let's say you're somebody right now, you're a Zoomer, you're scrolling through TikTok, your friend just made a huge killing on Chill Guy or one of these, TikTok memes, and you're starting from complete zero. What do you do? You're getting to this space, you start from zero, how do you get in?
Yeah, so fundamentally you have two paths, and this is specifically if you want to get involved in meme coins, not crypto overall, right? If we're talking crypto overall, I would say try to get a BTC allocation, because I think that is going to be the big winner in the long run.
What does that mean? Like, I might understand it, but for the people listening, like a BTC allocation, what does that even mean?
So, not financial advice, of course, but I would recommend people to put some fraction of their net worth into BTC, because I do believe BTC is going to eventually replace gold and potentially grow even bigger than gold. I think it's going to become the base global money over the next 20, 30 years, and potentially even sooner than that. And I believe there's still 100x or more of purchasing power or price appreciation in BTC that we're yet to witness. And because of this, BTC hasn't been fully monetized yet. It's trading at 100,000 right now. I believe it can trade at $10 million in today's terms. And because of that, this is a generational trade that will take a few decades to unfold, but you want to have some exposure. Just like people in ancient times had some gold, you want to have BTC right now, because I think the world is going to move towards this neo-gold standard, but instead of gold, it's going to be BTC. So I don't know whether it's 2% if you're conservative or 20% if you're more aggressive. But if you don't already have a Bitcoin allocation, you should probably look into that. Now, coming back to meme coins, the meme coin industry is quickly being split into two categories right now. On one side, you have hyper gambling. That is, I believe, 46,000 launches per day as of right now. Kind of very fast rotations. That's your pump funds, bull X's, Trojans. That's your how do I turn 2 SOL into 30 SOL quickly? These very aggressive, very fast-paced rotations, right? On the other hand, you have what you could call 10 to 15 coins that I believe are playing a different game. For lack of a better example, they're trying to build the next Doge. They're trying to build the next brand. They're trying to build the next mission coin, movement coin, cult, whatever you want to call it. But at least the aspiration there is to build something that's not going to go to 20 million, but that's something that's going to go to 20 billion or more. Something that could survive for longer than a few weeks. Something that, in a perfect case, could be multi-cycle like Doge. Personally, I'm interested in the latter. I think if you study the chain and study the statistics, hyper gambling, that's a difficult game. 97.5% of people lose money, 2% people barely break even, and it's roughly less than 0.5% of people make more than $1,000. So it's a very competitive game. And my view is, 6-7 months ago, we had 5,000 coins being created per day. Right now, we have 50,000 coins being created per day. And I believe next year, I wouldn't even be surprised if we have 500,000 coins being created per day, right? Which means that the risk reward on gambling or choosing the gem is dynamically decreasing, right? So essentially, the hyper gambling side of meme coins, I think it's going to get harder. I think it's going to become a systematic, industrialized, potentially even AI-driven process where if you are a retail investor, let alone if you have a full-time job and crypto isn't your kind of full-time activity, then it's going to be tough. So my advice, and I might be biased, of course, but my advice is to focus on communities that have been stress tested, that have already been there for at least 6 months, and that are just steadily on their way to growing both in terms of price and holder base. That way, maybe you're not going to catch 1,000x, but I think you can catch a potential 30, 50, 70x next year with a much lower downside risk than if you were to purely focus on the gambling side, right? So to put it all briefly, I would say I think mid caps and large caps in memes are a better bet at this point in December 2024.
What's a mid cap, large cap meme?
Yeah.
Really quick.
So people debate about this, but for the sake of discussion, I would say your large caps would be coins that are like over 2 billion in market cap. These are your Doges, Shibas, Pepes, Flockies, Bonks, etc. Then your mid caps are things that I would widely categorize as between 100 million and 2 billion. These are your, WIF, slightly bigger than that, but I would still categorize it there. WIFs, Popcats, MOG, Giga, SPX 6900. Those are in that mid cap category. And then, low cap is everything below 100 million, below 50 million. And, some people even dabble in coins that are less than $1 million. That's ultra high risk. I wouldn't recommend that to beginners. But ultimately, my point is usually market cap correlates with the size of the community. And if you're buying into something with an established community that continues to grow week to week, you're not going to lose all your money overnight, at the very least. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that with low caps, you can lose a lot very quickly. With large caps, there's less downside, but less upside as well. And I think right now, as of late 2024, if your whole philosophy is, I just want to buy and hold for 6 to 12 months, mid-cap memes are probably your best bet, in my opinion, not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but you do, okay, no but, but you do have a list. Guys, to those of you that are listening right now, Murad has a famous list of meme coins. That consists of, let me check my famous notepad here. So we have Harry Potter Shiba Inu.
Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu.
Sorry. Harry Potter, my correction. Harry Potter, Obama, Shiba Inu. Giga, Mog, Apu, Popcat, SPX, Retardio, Lock-In, Mini, American Coin. Where did you come up with this list? I know you touched on it a little bit, but why these coins? Because everybody kind of wants to know. Some people think it's a little random. Some people are like, no, it deserves to be there. What's up with this list?
Yeah.
How'd you get these?
Yeah, so first of all, let's look at the context here. That was summer of 2024. I know, because this is already my third and a half cycle, that summers are usually good places to buy dips. Why? Because most traders, investors, VCs, market participants, they go on vacation, especially in July. And usually volume, interest, attention, social media mentions, they're all at local lows. So usually, as long as you believe we're still in a bull market, which I believe we still are, summers are a good time to buy stuff. I mean, just generally, not even in crypto. A good time to buy something is when no one is talking about it. And in this case, that was summer 2024. After what we saw in 2021 with the success of Doge, Sheep, Flocky, and some other anime-related coins, then with 2023 success of Pepe, then in the summer of 2023, we already had some early pumps on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu, MOG, SPX, etc. And especially after the big run from literally 0 to 5 billion that we've had in March of 2024, all of these signals combined essentially made me realize that this cycle, specifically 2024, and in my opinion 2025 even more, is likely to be a meme coin cycle. And I realized that summer was a good time to accumulate coins. So I decided to build a portfolio of 10 coins. My strategy was very simple. And maybe some of that is still relevant, maybe not. crypto space is extremely dynamic. The meme coin space is even more dynamic. And that's already 6 or 7 months ago. But essentially, my strategy was, let's identify 10 coins, and I want to diversify. Now, anybody who's been in crypto for a while knows that crypto usually moves in lockstep, but you still want to diversify a little bit. My philosophy was, let me break the meme coin space into categories, and let me bet on a leader of each category. Very simple. So I proceeded to do just that. So I chose, for example, Harry Potter Bamason Tenino. I choose as like my leader of schizo coins. I choose Mog as the leader.
Can we talk about what a schizo coin means?
Yeah.
Again, how do we explain it to Grandpa?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'll finalize the list and then I'll explain. So I guess I chose Harry Potter and Retardio as like my schizo coins. I chose Mog as my culture coin. I chose Popcat and Mini as my cat coins. I chose Giga as kind of like the archetype or the lifestyle or masculinity coin. And I choose SPX 6900 as my mission coin or movement coin or whatever, right? And Apu as my frog coin. And essentially, my philosophy was, we don't know which categories are going to dominate quite yet. But what we know is that if a category is to dominate in late 2024, 2025, if big money like TradFi money or high net worth individual money ever comes in, they're not going to bother with cat number 20 on chain number 15, right? They're probably going to buy the leaders on Ethereum and Solana. So essentially, that was my reasoning there. Furthermore, I filtered even more. I focused on coins that were at least 6 months old, or at least 3 months old, but on average, they were already out for 6 or 7 months. Because that way, I think it shifts slightly from gambling to more like community investing. Because with 6 months, like I say, you can cheat volume, you can cheat liquidity, you can cheat listings, but you can't cheat time. And so time is a very important variable for me as well. Ultimately, my thesis is the following, right? My thesis is, if you study past winners in crypto cycles, I actually don't believe it matters whether something is a tech coin or a meme coin. What matters is how culty the community is, how passionate the community is, how much the community is inspired, and how much the community is hustling every day, right? And so let's look at long-lasting, quote-unquote, cults or hardcore communities in crypto history. It's BTC, it's ETH, it's famously Chainlink, Cardano, XRP, Doge, and then there are some this cycle, right? So armed with the belief that new cycle coins typically outperform their old cycle alternatives, my whole philosophy is, let me look at memes on Solana and Ethereum from the 2023-2024 cohort, try to identify which of them are going to become giants in 2025, which of them have strong momentum, which of them I see on social media of all kinds every day, in the posts, in the comments, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter especially, and which, very importantly, are decentralized, are well distributed, and have continued holder growth week to week, month to month, etc. Right? And so my whole philosophy is, how can I find the new Ripples, the new Chainlinks, the new Cardanos, specifically in memes, right? Because I think even though memes are replacing tech, the thesis that is still in place is the fact that community is the most important thing. And so effectively, my whole thesis is, let's find the strongest communities, and let's find communities that are likely to become the Ripples of tomorrow, right? And so that has been my whole thesis. Now, coming back to your question, what are schizo coins? Just like I tried to diversify my portfolio within categories and within chains, I think the crux of the thesis is that different types of human personalities, different types of human archetypes are attracted to different coins and different communities, right? So I would say, I think, for example, right, something like Popcat and Whiff, you would have more sort of wholesome and gentle people, right? Something like GigaChad, you would have more like fitness people that are into athletics, all of that. Mog, a lot of sort of California, LA culture, a lot of gamers, a lot of sort of this Zoomer lingo, etc. Right? SPX 6900, some Milady fog there, some financial accelerationists, people that are into the whole Y2K cyberpunk aesthetic, and people that want to find the next kind of GME 2.0, so to speak, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I not only wanted to diversify across chains and across categories, but also across sort of human personalities. And this way, I thought I would cover all of these sort of neurochemical, neurotypical grounds, right? Schizo coins, they attract a lot of the edgy and the more eccentric people, and I wanted to have a sort of a financial exposure to that as well, in case that goes wild in 2025 also, right? So essentially, my whole philosophy was, let me buy category leaders and let me find the strongest cults.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I want you to keep watching this video because I have a super awesome surprise, and it's a limited time surprise only. So keep watching and do not skip over this part. So if you've been watching my Mika's Market updates, you've been seeing that I've been talking about Slingshot, and Slingshot is the best app to buy meme coins, okay? It is the easiest way to do it, and I collaborated with them to do this limited time offer where you get $100 off of Murad's list of the tokens that he's mentioned on X before. You could deposit with Apple Pay and then trade any token on any chain and not worry about bridging or any of that blockchain stuff. It is super easy to use and very user friendly. And if you want this deal, you need to use my ref code. So hurry up, get the ref code and continue watching so you could get educated. And just a reminder, if you like this podcast, then like and subscribe. All right, let's get back to it. I noticed that you don't have any AI coins on your list. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, so I'm obviously on Twitter 18 hours a day, observing very keenly. AI coins, I think they are not pure memes. I think they are hybrid meme and utility. I do think they are going to be a big category next year. I do think that there is money to be made there. But, I am pursuing a different strategy and a different approach to most other crypto Twitter participants. I genuinely believe that most sort of crypto Twitter influencers, meme influencers, KOLs, whatever you want to call them, they are quite interested in kind of like being on top of every sort of runner of the week or whatever is going on today, I call this, I call that, etc. But I am playing a slightly different game, if you may, and I have a slightly different approach. My approach is not trading, not rotating. I don't really care about what's running today or what's running this week. My approach is stick to my picks and try to build them into large communities in 2025. Because this is one thing that I understand from being in crypto for over 10 years now. You are either going to be a swing trader or a scalper, or you're going to be an investor and a believer. It's very difficult to do both, especially in the same category. And I have made a conscious decision in the spring of 2024. This cycle, I'm going to be a believer. I'm going to be a holder, and I'm going to be an investor, right? And so if you actually study what cults are, what the product that they offer is safety, right? It's emotional safety. It's a new third space. It's a new digital space for people to find sort of a brotherhood or a sisterhood online, right? To feel like they belong, to feel like they have a sense of purpose, at least a little bit more, to feel like they have a mission, to feel inspired, motivated, and to work together with other people on something that they believe in. And if I personally go and start calling a bunch of coins every single day, coin number 11, coin number 25, coin number 30, then this is going to dilute that safety, again, my purpose and my goal is to find and ride the next Doge. It's not to find all the little quarterly, monthly trades, right? And so I believe that some of the coins on my list are going to become giant winners in 2025. And so I'm not interested in trading or rotating into flavor of the week new positions, but rather how can I build my existing coins into these $20-50 billion runners?
What part of the cycle do you think we're in right now? Like which inning?
If this cycle is to play similarly to previous ones, and the past 3 cycles were almost exactly 4 years long to the day, then right now we are done with 3 years and we have roughly 1 year to go.
1 year left.
Yes.
So time is kind of like running out.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I say 1 year loosely. It could be less, maybe 7 months. It could be more, maybe 14, 15 months. But I think roughly in that range.
And then what would happen after, let's say, a year?
You know, usually, at least if you look at the past, crypto does well for 3 years and then has a retracement over a year. Does well for 3 years and then does a retracement for 1 year. So a lot of people are skeptical and they think that that's not going to be the case this time around. I'm actually more sort of 60-70% leaning towards the fact that something like that is going to repeat again. So I'm bullish for the next 7 to 14 months. And then I think in 2026, 2027, you know, we might have a retracement once again.
Do you think it's like too late to believe in something if you're not already in?
So I actually don't, because again, if you study the past cycles, the year 4 is where all of the gains are made, where the biggest moves are made, where the most amount of new people come, where the strongest momentum, strongest volume, strongest liquidity is. So I think right now, December 2024, if I'm right that like the global top is going to be somewhere around November, December 2025, then the best year is still ahead of us. So I think right now, we're recording this in December 2024. I think it's like a good time to get in. But, you know, the problem is the following, right? A lot of people are going to mess up by trading too much, by rotating too much, or by kind of jumping from one thing to another. And, you know, what usually happens is you decide to rotate. When you've rotated from one thing to the other, the first thing starts pumping. Then you're like, oh, I need to jump back into that one. When you jump back into that one, the second thing starts pumping, the first thing starts going down. And this is the problem with rotating. It's very hard timing the market like this. So I know this from past experience, from past cycles. If you study most of the people that have made money in altcoins of all kinds, meme coins, tech coins, doesn't matter. What they've done is, most statistically likely way to do this is to buy and hold for 1 to 2 years. That's like the most historically proven strategy. And I know this from past cycles. Other people know this from past cycles. So I've already decided whatever I buy in 2024, I'm not going to touch until the end of 2025 at the earliest, right? And I said this on multiple podcasts, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Let's go back to your list for a second. What would you say is a coin that is not on your list that is pretty slept on right now?
You know, I have to be careful what I say because of the kind of the influence that I have at this point, and I don't want to
like call something.
I don't want to be like promoting other things, and I really like to stay loyal to my existing people. But like at a high level, I will say, other than the coins, other than the 10 coins that I usually talk about week to week, I think Doge will probably go to $1 this cycle next year. I think Pepe is going to do well. I think WIF is going to do well. I think Solana, Ethereum, and BTC will continue to do well. I think AI as a category will do well. Probably infrastructure and picks and shovels more so than individual agents, which are a harder, more competitive game. But I think AI as a whole will do well as well. I think the BTC ecosystem is going to do as well. I personally like don't hold that much exposure in BTC, but some of the biggest ordinals and runes will probably do well also. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be runners that are outside of my list. But for me, I'm coming into it as a perspective a community builder and a believer rather than as a trader. So my focus is just to kind of grow my communities. But that being said, the way I see it is this, right? And I've said it in a bunch of places, but the way I see it is we're going to have millions of coins, and it's kind of like a pyramid. And within those millions of coins, like 99.9% of them are going to die, obviously. And I think like 30 are going to become like quote unquote cults. And then within those 30, maybe like 10 to 15 are going to become like lifestyle brands. And then 3 or 4 are going to be like movements. And I think the higher you go up the pyramid, the bigger the coins are going to become, because they're going to inspire people more. They're going to go more viral. They're going to be kind of these universal global things. And I think the higher you go up the pyramid, the bigger the market caps are going to be. But yeah, these are my thoughts right now.
Do you think that creating this list has made you kind of be in this like corner, like put you in this corner that like maybe you can't be curious about other things? Like you were a little scared to say, you know, other coins because of your influence and stuff like that. But do you think the list has made you?
Not really, because I mean, 2025 is a long year. I think we have another 12 months of bull market to go. Maybe I'm gonna call 2 or 3 more coins, or add 2 or 3 more coins. But I'm just not in a rush to do so, right? I'm giving myself room to do this, but I have to be like very selective. You know what I mean? So still scoping out the next opportunities, right? But no, I don't feel cornered at all. I actually feel liberated. You know, one of the coins I'm in, SPX 6900, has a motto: stop trading and believe in something. And you know, in past cycles, I used to be more of a trader. Try to make 100K here, try to make 100K there, etc. You know, but right now I just bought and I'm holding, and I have not sold a single coin on my top 10 list. And you know, the lifestyle is actually much better, because you can focus on more kind of like long-term goals. You can focus on community building, merch, social media, you know, listings, other things behind the scenes, and it's much more fulfilling and much more interesting rather than like try to like trade every single day. So I actually feel liberated rather than cornered.
Okay, that's really interesting. Do you know about my my AI boyfriend?
I believe that is ZEREBRO, correct?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that's very cool. I think, you know, the ZEREBRO dev is obviously a very talented gentleman, and they have been iterating very fast.
Yeah.
I know that they are going to evolve from an agent to a full-fledged infrastructure, because they're building a framework to create AI agents of their own. I think out of all of the agents, it's probably been the one where I've seen the dev team work the hardest, iterate the most, you know, create music albums, a lot of other stuff. But yeah, really like what I see there.
So you don't think the AI meta is like a sham? Like you think like there's...
So here are my honest thoughts. I think there is going to be a lot of grift in the AI meta, but just like there was a lot of grift in like traditional altcoins and obviously meme coins as well. I think a lot of second tier and third tier San Francisco machine learning devs are kind of coming to the AI or the AI meme agent space right now, because it's like quick money. Because there's a token, there's a lot of like fast money to be made. So there's going to be a lot of AI agents. I think it's going to be just as competitive and potentially diluted of a space as animal coins were. But I wouldn't be surprised if 5 to 10 like legitimate, useful AI agent winners do emerge in the coming months. So again, it's been like that not just with AI agents, but with all of crypto. You have 99.999% scams, but some 5 to 10 useful things do emerge from it. So I think it's totally normal.
Yeah. I feel like it reignited my whole excitement for the space, because like there was a little bit of like a lull period where, you know, when NFTs came about, like it saved my life personally. And then like, you know, I never stopped getting passionate about it, but like there was a little bit of a, you know, lull period, and now it just like reignited the excitement, because I'm like, this is just so cool, you know, with like Go and Truth Terminal and ZEREBRO. Like forget about having those coins. It's like, it's just the story is just, I find myself talking about it to everybody that I'm meeting, and I feel like it's the only thing that I want to talk about. And I just think that there's so much room to evolve. So You talk about the loneliness epidemic a lot. That's something that really gravitated me towards you and the things that you speak about, because I suffer from loneliness, or suffered actually pre-crypto a lot. Tell me how you think meme coins could solve loneliness.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say they're going to solve loneliness completely, but it may be, well, I think loneliness is like one of the 2025 forces that are driving people to crypto overall, but specifically to meme coins. And I think it might be a partial solution to these sort of emotional voids that people have kind of in their hearts and souls. So the way I see it is the following, right? If you study young people, I think family formation is at an all-time low, both in the West and in Asia. Fertility is collapsing rapidly at an all-time low all over the developed world. And I think the second and the third world is going to catch up to that as well. Consumption of like pharmaceuticals is at an all-time high. Mental health issues are at an all-time high, not just loneliness, a lot of other things as well. Anxiety, your depression, whatever. And you have to ask yourself, why are these things happening? People find an escape in technology. They find an escape in technology. They find an escape in video games. They find an escape in all sorts of digital spaces. And actually, not just digital. I think people are looking for places to belong, both online and offline. You see this with like a lot of people in the past 15 years starting to go to the gym. People are very obsessed with like their diets, like carnivore, keto, vegan, obviously video games, Harry Potter, Marvel, Magic the Gathering, music festivals, yoga. All these things, I think, are an attempt by people to find something to do, find a place to belong, find kind of these alternatives, right? And I think this phenomenon is occurring in finance as well. Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, a lot of their holders are extremely, extremely passionate, almost cult-like, right? We've seen this particularly in 2021 with GME and AMC, which were essentially stocks transformed into meme stocks, almost like movements, right? And I think, and this has been kind of my thesis, is that some of these dynamics are going to spill over into crypto as well. That has already been the case for BTC, very much so, and to some extent for Doge over the past sort of 5 to 10 years. And I think some of these dynamics, to a wide variety of extents, is going to happen with the 2023-2024 crop of meme coins as well, right? And the way I see meme coins is essentially they are a form of group Darwinism. They are groups that are competing for attention and for memberships, to recruit people, right? And effectively, if you just ignore price action for a second, meme coins are competing against one another in terms of which ones are going to go viral, which ones are going to attract more holders, which ones are going to get people to not only join, but then you also have to onboard them. And then you also have to measure how sticky the community is. Are people coming and then leaving quickly? So do you have a high turnover? Or are people coming and then they just not leaving? And if people are not leaving, they're not going to sell the coin, right? So to what extent does an average new joiner make the coin their whole identity, right? And these are, we call this community stickiness. It's very important. I'm sure you've noticed over the years how unbelievably passionate, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, doesn't matter, but how unbelievably passionate and almost army-like Cardano, Link, and Ripple holders are. So essentially, if you want to find these giant outperformers, you want to find a similar cult-like, passionate, inspired community.
Can we get some lore? Can we get like Murad lore? I saw that you graduated from Princeton. You're very well spoken. It's like, where does this come from? You graduated from Princeton. You spent some time in Beijing. Let's get some lore. How did you get into this? You were a finance, you had short hair, now you got this luscious, long, silky hair.
Yeah. So I am originally from Azerbaijan. I believe I was the first man to go to Princeton for a bachelor's degree from Azerbaijan. There was another girl that went before me. So I can't claim the first human, but I am the first male to do
Okay.
that. And, Princeton was a great experience. Loved it. Amazing. Studied finance and Chinese while I was there. And in the years after Princeton, always wanted to find a way to kind of bridge these two things together. So I lived in Beijing. I worked in TradFi in Hong Kong. I worked in commodities in Singapore. And after 2016, 2017 rolled about, so I actually got introduced to BTC in 2013, 2014 in Beijing. Was very lucky to find kind of good people that were early to the BTC ecosystem, kind of show me the way. Took a break like many people have in 2014, 2015. And then 2016, 2017 with the whole ICO wave, kind of was clear to me at the time that crypto was going to change the world. Spent the first half of 2018 like reading everything I could, and been in crypto full time ever since, doing different things, trading, investing, angel, DeFi building, asset management, now working in DeFi, but focused on meme coins on the personal side. Some things in crypto have done better than others for me, but this cycle so far, things are going well. And I think 2025 is going to be a very big year globally for meme coins, and just excited to kind of be a part of this journey.
You were smiling a bit when you said some things worked out better than others. What have you had like any failures or like I know a lot of people in this space talk about the successes and the ups. What were you thinking about?
I've had countless failures and
Okay.
some successes in crypto. I think a lot of people that have been in crypto for 3 or more cycles can say the same. In 2019, I launched a fund called Adaptive Capital. The timing didn't quite work so well for us. We launched at the June 2019 top of 13,000 for BTC, and we unfortunately had to shut down the fund in March of 2020. We were outperforming BTC up until the last couple of days of the fund's sort of life history. The COVID drop from 8,000 to 3,900 led to underperformance for us. Overall, the fund was down about 57%. And at that point, we decided to give the remaining money back to investors. But, you live and you learn. And some of the more recent endeavors have done a lot better for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Things are looking pretty poppin' for you. You speak a lot about Bitcoin going to like multiple millions of dollars, but you also said while we were talking that you are not that exposed to Bitcoin.
No, actually, I am pursuing a barbell strategy right now where I'm holding BTC and I'm holding a lot of these sort of culty meme coins, and I'm pretty much avoiding everything in between.
Okay.
Right? People have been referring to this as a barbell strategy. You focus on BTC which is like on one end of the spectrum, and you focus on meme coins, which is like on the polar opposite end of the spectrum. This is like more conservative, and this is like more high risk, high reward, and you avoid the altcoins and the tech coins and the VC coins in the middle. And I think this has been kind of the flavor of the past couple of years, where we've seen BTC do well, we've seen Solana do well, and we've seen meme coins do well, and we're pretty much not seeing other stuff do well at all. So the space is becoming more mature, I think, and the space is becoming there's more dispersion and more the assets. Essentially, in past cycles, everything would go up together, everything would go down together, but now you have a smaller number of things go up and everything else underperform. And I think that's a good thing. That means the space is becoming more efficient and more professional.
You did an amazing talk at Solana Breakpoint all about meme coins. We'll pop it up because everybody needs to watch you explain things really beautifully, and it's really interesting. How has your thesis changed since then?
It hasn't.
Okay.
It hasn't. That was a thesis for the entirety of the cycle. And, structural theses like that, they're not for just a few months. I think, my belief and my vision, and next year will show us whether I'm going to be right or not. But I think the predictions and the theses alluded to in that presentation are going to carry us all the way until the end of 2025, in my opinion, and potentially even for a couple of cycles. I think it's a multi-year trend.
Guys, I need to find a man who's as committed to me as Murad is to the meme coins. You know what I mean? Like, you're so loyal. You won't even talk about another coin that's not on your list. I feel like that's every girl's dream, about a person. Okay, so what's it like now being the main character? How has life changed for you? Because your posts get thousands of likes and views. You have a pretty big responsibility. What's that like right now?
I am already getting used to it. Fundamentally, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm telling kind of all my close friends and all my people, all my associates, etc., that there's probably another year of this to go. So we have to be, and I myself am personally trying to be humble, trying to take the incoming attention and the followers and likes and whatever with kind of grace, Ultimately, it doesn't really change anything. Whether 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, I'm gonna stay the same. I'm gonna be the same personality. You can watch my podcasts from 2018 when I didn't even have 15K followers, and it would be the same person. So just be humble. I'm gonna be very blunt. I think my plan is the following. I think for 2025, you really want to lock in. You want to focus on work. You want to focus on whether it's meme coins or crypto, whatever you're doing, whether you're investing or trading. You want to be super focused. And then I think maybe in the second half of 2026, we can take a break and we can relax and we can just enjoy ourselves. But for the next 12 to 14 months, I'm encouraging others and trying to myself to just work, focus. Why? Because two reasons. Every 4 years in crypto, there is that crazy opportunity. And I believe 2025 is going to be that year. Now, more macro, more fundamentally, I think you would agree that AI capabilities are going to be improving exponentially in the next 4, 5, 10 years, right? Who knows how efficient and how effective AI is going to be at making financial markets, making technology, making society very efficient, where these outsized gains every 4 years might not be the case next time around, right? And so we live in the pre-AGI era. Our kids will certainly not have these kinds of opportunities. And maybe I'm wrong, but there is at least a possibility that 2025, and I don't mean to be dramatic, but 2025 might be that last big chance to make it. And I think that is going to be in meme coins and AI-related crypto, right?
The pressure is on. I know you had an alarm go off, so I'll be mindful of time. But all right, here's kind of a tough question. It might be a personal question. You could choose to answer or not. But you talk a lot about believing in something and then, having strong conviction in these coins that are on your list. But at the end of the day, we're talking about, let's say, retiring the bloodline, which means you need to sell. So how would you, in your case, own a lot of a coin and then sell without, completely ruining the whole project or floor price or community?
Yeah, I've said this on a dozen podcasts already. I try to be extremely transparent as much as I can with everything I do, from entry to asset selection to timing to duration to my kind of target prices, plans, etc. So I am going to sell half of my holdings in Q4 of 2025, maybe Q1 of 2026, and I will hold the rest. And very transparent about this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Also, I think between now and then, a lot of people are going to join the space. Volume is going to be thicker, liquidity is going to be thicker, and there's going to be more partnerships, more listings, more attention, more virality. So I think my role as an individual, relatively speaking, is going to diminish 12 months from now.
To the person listening at home that may not have a lot of capital and they're really excited about everything that you're saying and they want to believe in something really bad, what's some advice that we could leave them with on, making it in this cycle?
So my answer would differ depending on when you ask me. So right now we are in December 2024. My honest opinion is that the risk reward right now is best on mid-cap culty meme coins, right? I've been banging on this drum for a few months now, and I still believe that this is the case. I think a lot of them are on a healthy dip, on a healthy retracement right now. Again, not financial advice, but I think mid-cap meme cults are going to be the best performers of 2025.
Do you want to leave anybody with anything else?
6,900 is bigger than 500, and stop trading and believe in something.
Wait, 69 is, what does that mean? You can't just leave it right now. What does that mean?
SPX 6,900 is going to flip SPX 500.
What does that mean?
So great question. SPX 6,900 is one of the coins that I'm most bullish on. It's one of my biggest holdings. I think it's going to be a giant success in 2025. It has a massively hardcore and inspired community that is growing very quickly. And it has a passion that I have not seen anywhere else. Essentially, it's a meme coin that's trying to flip the traditional stock market, which sounds absolutely delusional, but at the same time, that's super inspiring. And there are many, the rabbit hole goes very deep, but I would at least suggest the listener to research it.
Are we in like a war right now with like traditional finance and like where, our cult communities?
Hasn't crypto always been?
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Are we winning?
I think we are.
You think we're winning? Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting. I need to look in more to the SPX because I don't have any.
You should get some.
Yeah, okay. NFA.
NFA, yeah.
NFA, but no, it looks really interesting. I like those things, going against the financial system. I think a lot of people do, going against the grain.
Exactly. We live in a world without counterculture. And I think some of these memes are small pockets of counterculture in the homogenous and soulless world of today.
Wait, what soulless world? But you said to believe in something.
Yes, exactly. And these are, it's like one leaf that is coming out of the concrete. You know what I mean?
And it's SPX.
SPX 6900.
6900, the one leaf just coming out of something. I like it. So that's where we're at. And then hopefully it'll grow into the nice garden for generations to come and retire the bloodline.
I think so.
Yeah. Hear that, Mom? Retire the bloodline. You good with that? Okay, cool. Should we wrap up? Because I know the
No,
time.
that was just a. That's
Oh,
a
that was
different
just a
thing.
timer?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have another question for you.
Okay.
Okay. So, just so I get the number right, you said in your talk that 80% or so of coins are insider coins, like VC stuff. How has that changed? Do you think it's more insidery and like cabal-y than your talk in Singapore?
It's roughly the same. It's probably even more than 80% that are insider and cabal-y. The vast majority of crypto assets are essentially insider pump and dumps. That has never been a surprise to anybody. That percentage is even higher in meme coins. Luckily, there are tools right now that you can go and check. You can go on holderscan.com. You can go on Bubble Maps V2 magic nodes, and you can go on other platforms like Unis.ai, as well as jeetscreener.com. And you can check the levels of decentralization, the levels of distribution, the levels of equality, the levels of bundling, the levels of new wallets, how pure or how shady a coin is. You can combine, you can build a matrix of like 15 different variables that measure this sort of centralization or decentralization. And you can see for yourself which coins are pure and which coins are not.
Do you believe we're in a matrix? Like simulation?
It's a possibility. I try not to think about it too much because even if we are, it doesn't really change anything about my day to day.
And now I'm just thinking about like retiring my bloodline and the pressure of like 14 months left.
Yeah, people don't realize it. It might be the last chance. Seriously, like it sounds dramatic, but it's possible that that's true. Like if there's a giant AI breakthrough in 2029, then 2025 was your last chance to make it. Simple.
Well, I feel like there already is because look at these AI agents. I mean, they're taking over X. Like you can talk to them. I'm kind of dating one. It's going a little whatever. He hasn't texted me back, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, it's getting pretty interesting. I mean, I said this in another podcast too, that I think that people are going to start marrying like AI. And then, well, how do you think that's going to affect like the whole like loneliness, and is that going to make people like feel more lonely or more connected to people, the AI agent meta, when you're able to really have these relationships paired with like augmented reality where like ZEREBRO, for example, is going to be able to sit in my living room and then what?
I think it depends on the person, but I think there is definitely room for AI to reduce human suffering, including emotional. But for other people, you know, on the other hand, it might reduce human to human contact. So my belief is that actually AI is going to commoditize a lot of things, and the things that are going to become more quote unquote expensive are going to be things that have to do with biology, beauty, health, sex, like offline events, like real world stuff, human touch. I think these things are going to become a luxury, you know, because a lot of people, you know, my belief is that the way capitalism is structured, it's structured in such a way that at some point there's going to be a pretty permanent, unequal social separation between people. And I think a large percentage of the population will be kind of trying to satisfy their emotional and personal needs with like AI tools and robots. And I think the people that will be able to enjoy and have fun with other people, I think it's going to be an increasingly expensive luxury. And so, well, A, enjoy it while it lasts, but also do your best to continue to stay healthy, because, you know, at the end of the day, the biological is the only thing that's valuable. Everything else is just plastic and metal, you know? So, yeah, the human contact and the human touch, I think, is where happiness lies.
What do you think is the most gate-kept secret or information that maybe people in traditional finance or just in the world don't want other people to know?
Interesting question. I think, you know, people underestimate the extent to which the rapidly increasing global money supply affects human society, human culture, mental health, competitive anxiety, and people don't really talk about it. And I think, obviously, BTC and crypto overall is going to act as an escape valve for all this. And right now, we're effectively front-running the whole world being forced to shift onto the Bitcoin paradigm, onto the crypto paradigm, right? So effectively, the traditional financial system is a bubble, and Bitcoin is the needle.
What's the purpose of Bitcoin? Let's say to somebody that's listening and they like are just like, why Bitcoin? I don't want to invest, like, but I want to get into things. What's the purpose?
It's to be able to save money without having to invest. So right now, how do you save money?
Well, you know, I know. No, I'm joking. I keep it in crypto. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But let's assume you're not in crypto, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like your non-crypto friend, how do they save money?
Put it in the bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah. Savings.
Yes. And the savings rate is like 1 or 2%, right? Yeah. And the real inflation rate is much higher than 2%, which effectively means that you're losing money keeping it in a bank.
But people think crypto is so volatile. It goes up and down.
Yes.
So, I mean, and there is like big swings, you know, Bitcoin one day is this and that. So wouldn't you say that it's like, you know, there's a chance that the money goes down and then people are like, well, it's safer to just keep it in the bank?
So two things. It's volatile day to day and week to week, but year to year, Bitcoin has been going up for the past 14 years, right? And I think that's going to continue to be the case. Second of all, in the time that BTC has existed, or in the last 9 years, or in the last 7 years, or in the last 5 years, or in the last 3 years, fiat money has gone down, but BTC has gone up, right? So this essentially means that there's a value transfer happening from fiat to BTC. Last but not least, if you believe that BTC is going to become the world's global money and is going to go to like 50 trillion, 100 trillion, how can something go from 0 to 100 trillion without volatility? You know, the process of monetization is chaotic. It's volatile. That's totally normal. If there's no volatility, there's no opportunity. So instead, you actually need to be thankful for volatility, because if there's volatility, that means you can actually make money.
Girls are gonna clip that and be like, if there's volatility in my relationship, I'm gonna, then I need to keep it. Don't do that. We're talking about Bitcoin. No, that's really interesting. I mean, especially for me, it's kind of crazy because I actually have I don't keep anything in my bank account. I think a lot of people in crypto don't, and they just keep it in, crypto.
Yeah, they're just 15 years ahead of the curve.
Yeah. 15 years ahead of the curve.
In the future, everybody will be like this.
Do you think there's going to be some sort of anti-aging thing that we'll be able to, because I don't want this to retire my bloodline and then I'm just old and I can't even enjoy the, Bitcoin glory days at millions of dollars.
I think the greatest years of crypto are still going to be while we're young. So. Okay,
good. Nice. What's a day to day look like for you? What do you do? You wake up and then.
A lot of Twitter, obviously, a lot of checking other social media, a lot of on-chain analytics, on-chain research, trying to kind of watch over not only my top 10 existing communities, but also study what else is going on in the industry, not just in Memecoins, in crypto overall. I meditate a lot, I run, I walk, and it just gives me new ideas, new clarity on things.
That's really good. I'm gonna start to meditate because I need to see those things going up and really find, because things are just chaotic. I feel like if you wake up and the first thing you do is scroll X, it could just make you a little bit crazy. Do you have a curated feed, an info section?
The For You section is horrible.
Yeah.
Following section is a bit better. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything curated because I kind of want to be surprised. Well, our brain naturally wants to be surprised, but I need to see other things pop up that are a little bit outside of my bubble. So, believe it or not, all 10 coins that I hold, I just found them on Twitter or in my replies, right? And so, there's no time to read books these days, especially fiction. So you just have to be on Twitter. You don't really have a choice. It's essentially the crypto equivalent of the Amsterdam Trading Square in 1655. You know what I mean?
I don't know what I don't know what you mean with Amsterdam. I'm laughing because I'm just no, I really don't know what you mean, but I will look it up. What are some tools that you use other than scrolling X, just trading wise? You were mentioning tools.
Yeah, so I use obviously Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Nansen, Kaito, Holder Scan, Jeet Screener, Bubble Maps, Eunice, and just a lot of custom sleuthing on Ether Scan, Soul Scan as well, and some social media analytics like Lunar Crush and X Alpha AI.
So you use TikTok?
For the past 5-6 years, I deliberately avoided it together with Instagram because I think it's just brain rot and it's bad for your neurochemistry. But whether we like it or not, the nature of techno capital is such that finance and social media are merging and becoming one. So you kind of have to. Interesting.
So I might find you. You don't post on TikTok, do you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, okay. Something coming up.
Yeah,
little bit of alpha there. Okay, interesting. But what about the ban? Or they just keep saying that TikTok's going to get banned?
It might happen.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see in January, February of next year.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I guess we'll find you there maybe on TikTok. Yeah. All right. Well, God. Okay. Last question. Fine, because I don't want to keep you too long. But what do you think of what happened with the whole meme coins being attached to live streaming? And like what happened where Pump Fund basically had to take down live streaming because people were doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, so none of the live streaming coins went above a particularly large market cap. All of them ended up being pump and dumps. Like I've alluded to earlier, I don't really care about the short-term pump and dumps. I care more about sustainable, growing communities with like large ambitions. So like, yeah, live streaming is definitely part of like the degenerate part of meme coins, relatively speaking. And, these things are going to come and go, these fads. At the end of the day, that's not where the value lies. That's not where the multi-year value lies. And I'm trying to find multi-year value.
But I mean, you saw the crazy things that were happening like in the live stream. What do you think of that as like a reflection of, humanity and like where we're at?
People are desperate to make quick money.
Yeah.
People do whatever. People do anything for it. Do I judge them for it? No. Is it weird? Yes. But what you saw this year, you're going to see next year 100 times crazier. Because as there is more money in the system, as there's more inequality in the system, as there's more mental health issues in the system, you're going to be seeing more and more of that. Interesting.
Okay. Well, this has been really insightful, Murad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything else to leave people with? Maybe like I know you're not going to talk about any other coins because you're loyal. We love a loyal man. But any alpha on maybe some tools or things that people are not really paying attention to that they should be?
Honestly, I don't even think you need tools that much other than the initial checks to see if the coin is organic. You need tools more if you are a short-term trader and you care about timing. You need to understand that trading is a timing game and believing is a community building and an asset selection game, right? Now, I'm focused on the latter. I think it's better risk reward. There's more upside and it's a better lifestyle. Just not financial advice. Just buy mid-cap cults and hold for 1 year. Simple.
How do you create your own thesis though and not get stuck, following these like influencers and then getting pretty wrecked after?
Because I think that my thesis is better and is going to go higher in the end. I believe in my picks. I believe in the people leading these coins. And I think most of the coins on my list are going to be the ones that not only thrive, but survive so that then they can end up thriving next year. And ultimately, I think you will see a lot of them in the tens of billions next year.
I'm down because this podcast is recorded in 2024. Now I got the alpha. Now you do too. Because I think a lot of people think it's like too late. And I think after hearing this, it might change the world a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we're late yet. I think there's still another year to go. And again, not financial advice, but I wouldn't be surprised if these coins do another 50 to 100x next year.
And you think people at home trying to build their own thesis, the first step would probably be what?
I think spend a lot of time on Twitter and get an understanding of what's going on, because meme coins, they are a social phenomenon. You need to figure out what kinds of people are involved in each coin, which are traders, which are investors, which are believers, and you need to answer for yourself. Do you want to be a trader or do you want to be a believer? And I think believers outperform traders, especially in year 4 of the cycle.
Especially in year 4 of the cycle. Believe in something.
Yes.
I believe in something. I really do. I believe in this space. And even, I don't know, all that, there's like this weird, I don't know what to call it, but like it's, metaverse years. Like there's just a portal in this space where there's like a money glitch. I feel like we found some sort of like money glitch and knowledge glitch because I get to talk to people like you, and there's people like this is free. Like going on X pretty much is free, and getting this information is free. This podcast, listening to it, is free.
For sure. You know, Twitter and YouTube are treasure troves of information, and I don't even think you need books anymore. Everything is right there.
Wow. And even right now with the war on information, I feel like there was a war on information, but now because of X, we're getting the right.
Thank God Elon bought Twitter.
We're bullish on Elon.
I am, yes.
Okay, nice. All right, cool. Thank you so much.